Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is September the 15th, 2020. Very smoky and hazy day today. We got a lot of fires burning around us and one right south of us up on the hill. And I know you're getting as tired of it as I am, but we're going to be talking about irrigation again today. In particular, in today's topic is putting in this riser, putting in the gated pipe for the garden area between it and where the pipe goes underneath the driveway and pops up the other side and all that. Plus, we are going to be installing sprinkler lines today. Well, instead of shoveling it all by hand, I put the single shank subsoiler on Stinky this morning and ripped a trail. So now all I have to do is clean out that little trench with the trenching shovel, which is about 4 inches wide and 11 inches long. And yeah, I can start burying polypipe today. Yay! So hang in there, more's coming. The valve assembly finally arrived for the driveway irrigation piping that goes across the other side. Going to put the valve in on the intake side of that underground deal to hopefully keep that buried pipe from filling up full of mud. This is a butterfly valve. If I can make it work there for you, let's see. That's the open position. There's this round diaphragm that goes in there and shuts, and that'll hold up the water, and it turns. The first thing I noticed though is the valve lever in the off position is sticking out where we're going to be driving and whatnot, and I really don't want that getting hit, so I've got to undo let's see, this nut here, bolt that holds the handle on, and then turn the bolts loose. There's two of them here on the quadrant, and turn that 180 degrees so this valve is on the inside of the field instead of the outside where it can be run over when we're mowing up against the pipe or whatever. So that's first up, is turning that handle around. Meanwhile, back on the farm, it has come to my attention that there's no way to get to the nut on the inside here. It is either loose underneath this bolt and this plate, or somebody has wrenched on it when they tightened it up and put this plate on. They tightened it too tight and have stripped the nuts out or something. Anyway, these two bolts, that one and that one, don't come out, so I can't rotate that plate. And I'm starting to wonder if there is a right hand and a left hand version of these valves, where they're already done at the factory with this plate swapped around 180 degrees. You can see those ratchet teeth on it. If it was 180 the way I wanted it, the teeth would be over here on this side and the handle would be pointing back this way to be in the open position. So that valve handle isn't coming. Well, the handle came off, but the plate won't come off, so I can't turn it around and use it like I want to. So that goes to plan B, something I really didn't want to do, but we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to get a short chunk of PVC gated pipe and cut and stuff in there now to make this thing work, so that when this handle is this way, the valve is closed. On second thought though, that handle isn't going to be too big of an issue because I can always close it, or close the valve, actually open the valve, so that the handle will be in line with the PVC pipe. And if it is sticking out towards the area where I drive a little bit, that's even better, because that way I can get to it without having to walk through the mud in the field on the corrugated side where it's being watered. So we're going to go ahead and stuff the valve in the way it was built. Okay, we got the valve turned back around again. This line right here is actually about the minimum distance that a gated pipe should fit into the sleeve end of the or gasketed end of the bell. So we'll take our favorite blue goo here, or blue slickum, and wipe down the insides of the gasket there to help make all this slide together easier. I do not only the gasket but a little bit of the pipe. Never seems to hurt. Yeah, so we'll just wipe a bunch of this on here. Makes it slide together easier. And yeah, stuff that in there like so and push. Now I went a little further than what it looks like it's designed for, but hey, it's in there. Now to go fire up Stinky and attach it to the pipe trailer and start setting out some pipe over here. Then we can begin watering once we get the riser installed and everything buttoned up. Because both the riser assembly and the pipe assembly where it goes down underneath the driveway and that valve have the belled or gasketed ends on the pipe, I need to take one of these 30-foot chunks of gated pipe and cut the bell off of one end. This one is the likely candidate. It is full of holes and chunks, and I've already robbed the gasket out of it. In fact, this pipe, because of this damaged end, is so bad, I started robbing gates out of it, clear down at the other end of it. These are the little sliding gates that open and close to let the water out or to keep it in. So I'm going to cut this off about here and stuff it in the end of the valve after I bevel that off a little bit. Once I get that gated pipe stuffed in the valve there where it goes under the driveway, that'll tell me a length or a distance as to where I need to dig a hole to set that steel riser in the ground and install everything. So yeah, once that's done, then we can hook up all the gated pipe all the way across this deal here on the field, and we'll be done with it and we can start watering. Because the length of pipe I had chosen to use was so full of mud and crud, I have, or silt I guess I should say, I've stuck a garden hose in there. I'm going to wash it out down at the other end because quite honestly, I don't need to be dumping all that silt into that underground pipe very first thing out of the bat. So we're going to let this hose run for a while. Yeah, we're gonna wash out all the mud, junk, and trash out of that pipe. One of the first things that needs to be done with this riser before we clean it up is to remove the gated pipe, the old stuff that's been cut off out of the gasketed fittings on two sides. You know, this may not be a real pretty way on getting that pipe out of there, but it's working. There we go. Just a wee bit more. It's kind of chewing its way through that pipe, but if it'll make that pipe wiggle out of there, and we're in business. It's out. Yeah, we probably are going to need a new gasket or two in there. Well, now that we've got this pipe washed out, I can take it off the trailer, spin it around, and start hooking it up to the pipe that drops down and goes under the driveway where the valve is. Yeah, so that's our next little project. Yep, something kind of like that. Now to get this thing all lubed up and slid together, we'll be made in the shade. Speaking of, it's starting to get a little bit warm out here. So I think this afternoon would probably be a darn good time to go get some new gaskets for that riser. Yeah, it's in like that. Even the neighbors are getting into the action today across the street. They're cutting the beans. So, yep, fall harvest is well underway here in Idaho. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I need to wash the mud and the crud out of this thing. So, yeah, we're gonna spritz some water in here, wash out what we can, and then I'm gonna probably end up having to shovel some of it out of it, which that's all right. Now that that riser's all but cleaned out, the only thing left to do is run a string line from all those railroad ties that are down there to the west, back this way to a red bucket that's up here on the fence line, sitting on top of a post. And that string line's going to do two things. It will tell us how far in to the field that thing can go, and it will also tell us where sprinklers can go. That's what this trench is being dug here for, is the water line for a series of sprinklers to water north side of the creek and the north side of the pond. So that's all that's coming up, hopefully, and will be done this week. Happy hump day, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 16th of September, and this is a shot from out in the field of the sun coming up over the neighbor's trees. Yes, folks, you are looking directly at the sun in this shot. That's how much smoke there is. You can see the line of haze and whatnot in the horizon as I pan up a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be another smoky day today. You can smell it, you can taste it. It's just getting nasty. First up on our list of things to do this morning, while we're still trying to be quiet a little bit, is replacing some of these old gaskets in the riser. The old ones probably would still work. These are still a little bit flexible and pliable, but as long as I got it apart, we might as well change them out. I don't know if it shows up this morning or not, but this is the main rigid part of the body of the gasket in the gated pipe beld fittings. Has a little wiper lip on the inside here. It's kind of flexible, pliable, it's real thin. This is what the pipe actually slides into, and between the water pressure trying to push on it and this being stretched out a little bit because of the pipe in there, that's what creates the watertight seal, keeps the water from leaking out the fittings on the beld end of the riser and the gated pipe. Yeah, see if we can get this old one pried up out of here. I ended up having to make a road trip yesterday to go get new ones. Had to go, oh, see, now that one is cracking. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, there's cracks Yeah, there was the dirt. Okay, that is out of there. Yeah, I had to make a road trip down to local irrigation shop in Buell yesterday to pick those up because nobody in Twin Falls had them. Clean out that little area right there of the debris, and we'll snap one of these new ones in. Yeah, they're getting old enough, they're getting a little hard to find. These rubber gaskets just push in and out. There isn't much to it. Something like that, and I'm done. Now to do the other two. Now that I have a string line installed from one side of the place to the other, we know exactly where we're going to be at with the gated irrigation pipe and where I need to put the riser, which is just about exactly right where it was sitting. So yeah, some of the edge here will be on my side of that line, which that's okay. Now to start digging like a crazy fool. Yeah. Well, it's in the hole, now what? Roll easier if it wasn't for that chunk of concrete hanging out. Let's see here. Yeah, kind of like that. Now we'll get that pipe hooked up and we're good to go. Yeah. Okay, I've got the blue dish soap in the bell and on the end of the pipe. Now it's a matter of just sliding this together. Now the reason why I wanted new gaskets in that bell end is because there's only one 30-foot stick of pipe between here and that valve down there. And that's really not enough material to play with to get this pulled apart. Should I ever have to pull it apart, I'll probably end up having to dig up this riser. So yeah, if that pipe ever needs to be replaced, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Anyway, I'm going to put that together, level up the riser, and we'll press on. Alrighty, I have got the riser set where I want it now, and I'm just going to lightly water it in. What I want to do is create a little bit of a mud slurry to wash some of that soil underneath it to help stabilize it and settle it so it won't settle later on. I'd rather get it done today before I backfill it and yeah, get it kind of leveled up today. So just a little bit of water here, and then we're going to be stringing some more gated pipe. Now I'm not going to be totally setting the riser in with dirt up to the bottom of those fittings where the pipe slides into. The reason being is I'm going to probably clean that pipe up a little bit and get all the dirt and scale off of it, and then apply a coat of paint to make it help blend in with the surroundings around the farm here. I have also set the string line for the fence. You can see it wiggling there. It isn't over the top of the riser like I was thinking I was going to do, meaning I was going to set the riser back this way further. I'm going to leave it out like it is because on the freak chance we ever put a fence line in across here, I want to leave a little bit of room between the fence and that riser. Another reason why I'm not going to backfill the riser assembly too terrible much today is because I need to leave an opening right here to go over to this trench line right here for a irrigation line for a hydrant to go in here next to the riser, which will probably be over here on this side somewhere. That riser will be used for irrigation water from the irrigation pump to the garden plots. Should the need arise, we can turn on the pump and have water over here without having to run the domestic water pump for the house. Well, here is a shot of the potato harvest in full swing going on right here today, just up north of the house. They got some Lockwood tater diggers going, and yeah. Another little interesting piece of equipment down here. He's lifting them up so that the digger can come along and just scoop them up. He's putting them in a pile in a row. That's what Idaho's known for, folks, as the Great American Idaho Spud. Not only are the farmers busy getting ready for winter, the wasps are busy making a nest right here in this metal tubing. Yeah, they've been flying in and out of there all day, and if you get up close enough, you can see the nest inside there. I'm going to leave them alone, though, because they do eat harmful insects like aphids and whatnot and flies. So, yeah, I'm going to leave the little buggers alone and let them do their thing. The reason why I'm in such a push to get this done, and I have stretched this out to 3 days worth of video, and this video, I'm sorry, is a little bit long, is because this project absolutely has to get done before the 3rd of October, because everybody's going to be driving in and out of this driveway to get out here into the field to do any work. So yeah, this pipe has to be put in and done, and then the gated pipe we've got to have in, and so we can water the field so the dirt will turn nicely. So yeah, this is a big push. I have 3 days off. This is day number 3. This has got to get done today. Well, there is a roll of 1-inch poly strung out from the pump house down here almost to the riser assembly. Got a little more digging to do to carry it on down, the poly pipe that is, on down towards the raspberry bushes. But yeah, we're getting that put in. This is day number 3 of this little project, because I've got to get across the driveway in and out of the field. So yeah, we're going to run the pipe back across through there as quick as we can today, and bury that so we can gain access and start putting in the sprinklers in the next episode of this thing. So yeah, so welcome to day 3 of our irrigation project. It is September the 17th. It's a beautiful Thursday, if you can call tasting the smoke in your mouth beautiful. It is filthy hazy around here. Everything smells like burning forest, and yeah, not a real terribly pleasant day. And it's about noon, and yeah, we finally got some light here on the place. So stay tuned. We're going to see if we can't get this wrapped up on day 3. I was up before 5 a.m. this morning working on getting this pipe attached. I had several lights rigged up so I could see what I'm doing. And if you all recall, that 3/4 inch pipe we pulled up from the house down to the pump for those extra valves, well, it comes up a tad short. We're right here in the driveway. So I just had to run uptown for a quick minute to grab a coupling to hook this 3/4 inch poly to that 3/4 inch poly, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us down to the riser for the irrigation hydrant for the garden. Now what I'm doing with the hot air gun is warming up the plastic or the poly pipe on the end so I can insert a barbed coupling fitting easier. If that plastic's a little bit warm, it's a little more forgiving. It'll stretch, and then as it cools, it'll contract back around the coupling fitting. And I've already got a pair of hose clamps ready to go on here to clamp it all together. Let's see if that gives us enough squish factor here, soften that up. Okay, I gotta put my foot on it. Yep. Yep, that's doing it. Makes it a lot easier to screw that into the end of that pipe. Now to get the other end on here, and 2 more hose clamps. One area where I really like these little ratcheting wrenches is doing these hose clamps. Yeah, there are 4 clamps on there, 2 on either side of the fitting, and there's the fitting right there in the middle. Reason why I do that is because hose clamps are known to leak around the body of the worm drive for the clamp on occasion. So if you put 2 on opposite sides, you reduce the chances of ever having a future leakage problem. Plus, I do opposite sides like that so I can get a wrench on them and work on them easier without being restricted for room. But that's it. That'll get the 3/4 inch line hopefully across over to that riser so we can put in a hydrant. Now to clean out that trench and put the pipe in and bury it here in the driveway. Yeah, so we're almost there. Well, that's going to wrap up this 3-part episode of getting in this gated pipe and the sprinkler pipe. The lawn sprinklers will be another addition down the line. Wasn't a critical thing but to get them done, but I did need to get that poly pipe string across the driveway. So that's all done now, and we're just waiting to charge up the system with water, and I can open up the gates out here on the gated pipe and start irrigating the field. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe right down there. Click on that little, you see it, that little red thing down there with white letters that says subscribe on it. And then click on the little bell icon right next to it, and then tap on all. That way you can get notified every time there's a new video out here at Nelson Creek Farm. So stay tuned. I've got this one in the works, plus 2 more if the bugs don't get me. Anyway, we hope to see you here on October the 3rd for our plow disking and planting day. We're going to get ready for a threshing bee in 2021. So, y'all stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you. I'm Farmer Dave at Nelson Creek Farm.